I assure you that this evaluation, too, is delivered with a lot of love as well. Bill, you have done such a magnificent job modeling for us what it's like to put a really great speech with a lot of potential into what I call the daybreaker rock polisher. And this speech has just been tumbling in that rock polisher, becoming more and more polished with each and every turn. Having said that, by the time we come to evaluate a speech like this, it's almost like doing delicate brain surgery, because you move any small part of it and you might ruin the speech as a whole. But here's what I would have to say to you at this juncture. You really hit your stride in this speech, and tell me if you agree with this. You really hit your stride in this speech where you're out in the yard with Kurt. You come in right at 7:03, which is awfully close on time. So you missed a couple of opportunities to really mug more memorably. You've turned the heat up on that. You've intensified that, and it's benefited the speech. But we're going to have to carve a little bit of something out so that you can mug a little more memorably. And here's the 3 places I think you can do some surgery. And again, this is delicate brain surgery, so I want all the other doctors in the operating room telling me what they think about this. I think your question about, does anybody here have goals? That question goes by so quickly that each time I've heard this speech, it doesn't really sound like a genuine question. I think your intention is to do what all good Toastmasters with as much experience as you have know to do, which is to include the audience. But you don't have time to really pull us in. And I'm wondering if maybe that question might be able to go, might be worth looking at. The other thing, every time you've given this speech, that one little, the alliteration of the positive something platitude, that has bothered me every time. It kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. It's clever, but it somehow doesn't add. I think that can go. The other thing that I think could be excised, and this is probably going to cut pretty close to the bone because it's about your family, the story with Kim I don't think really adds a whole lot. It's sweet, and it tells that the family was involved, but it doesn't really contribute, doesn't really help build the speech. I think if you took those 3 things out and really worked on talking about the big hitters, and when you go, ha! To really punch that, and talk about how he loved baseball. I mean, I just didn't get how visceral that was for him. And even show us how he polished his shoes. You pointed down to your shoes, but I think it could have been more, but just how intense he was in there before every game polishing his shoes, and how the tumbleweeds rolled through his bedroom, make that a much bigger gesture like a tumbleweed is. Most of that polishing happens leading up to that scene in the yard with Kurt, because again, that's when you really hit your stride. Also, it's shelves, not shelves, and your voice can get a little breathy. I noticed that in mostly of